Well, it is officially June, and that means that nearly half of the year is now behind us. So, this is the perfect time of year for us to discuss and start thinking about planning and starting our mid year review. So, if you are not familiar with the concept of a mid year review and how it can help you to finish the year strong by reviewing your goals and targets and making sure that you're on track, then this is the video for you. And make sure to stick to the end because I have a very special announcement about a new resource that's going to be hitting the Charm Shop that you're not going to want to miss if you are really intent on making sure you hit your goals and targets before the end of the year. Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if this is your first time with me, I would just like to say hello and welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as Miss Trenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who designs and sells digital productivity tools to help you work smarter, not harder. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave some links down in the description box below where you can check out more of my work online. And feel free to download some of my latest free productivity tools over at thecharmedshop.com. So, like I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about how to perform a mid-year review. So if you are someone who's not familiar with this concept, let me lay it out for you really crystal clear so you kind of get what I'm talking about today. So a mid-year review is essentially a process that we will go through at about the mid-year mark. So we are in June now, so this is a process that we can begin now or complete now or, think about scheduling into our calendars before the month is over, anytime at the middle of the year mark, right? So this is a chance for us to grab our planners, grab our goals and our plans that we've set forth for the year and really make sure that we're on track. Because for so many of us, I think that at the beginning of the year, we start off like at New Year's with all these goals and resolutions and ideas and projects and plans. And through the days and weeks and months, things change. Sometimes we hit roadblocks that force us to, pause on some projects and maybe start projects a little later, or maybe we get started with something and we're not liking the direction that it's going on. And sometimes, our situation just changes in life. So it's really important that we are constantly reviewing our plans and our goals and our targets throughout the year. And the mid-year mark is a really good time, I think, to see what you've done in the last 6 months and what you have left to do for the next 6 months so that you can end the year strong. So that is essentially what we're going to be talking about today. And so this concept of a mid-year review, for me, the process that I personally take, I've never really seen a written out process from anyone before, but I am someone who does frequently review their plans, being someone who's into productivity and does a lot of project planning. And as I am an entrepreneur and have a business that I need to watch out for and plan for and make sure is constantly moving in the right direction, I am someone who always is reviewing my plans. So I have developed my own structure for a mid-year review, and perhaps it'll be helpful to you if you're someone who's new to this concept to kind of see what I do and maybe mirror that for yourself or use my ideas and kind of create your own mid-year review process that fits your life a little bit more specifically. So there are 4 steps to the mid-year review process, in my opinion, the way that I do it. And the first is to perform a brain dump. So a brain dump, or a mental download, a RAM download, some people call it, is a process that I like to undertake regularly. But anytime I'm about to do a big review, I like to do a brain dump. And if you have no clue what a brain dump is, I'll leave a link down below to a video where I describe it in detail if you're not sure how to do that. But essentially a brain dump is when you sit down with a pad of paper and a pen and you write down all of the things that you're holding on to in your mind. So all the plans, all the tasks, all the events, all the activities, everything that is clogging up your brain, you write it down so that you can get it out of your head, right? Because when we write things down, it gives us a sense of relief and release in our mind, and it puts our mind, I think, in a good state to review information and really process information a little bit better than when it's all clogged up with information. So step number 1 for the mid-year review is that brain dump. So make sure you do a brain dump first so that your head is in the right place. Now, the second step in my mid-year review process is to reconcile your old tasks. So what I mean by this is to literally pull out your planner, right? I've got my planner right here, and many of you guys have seen the setup for this. If not, I'll leave it linked down below. And essentially what I want you to do is go through your planner and look at your task lists and look at your weeks and look at your project plans if you happen to have project plans, and make sure that you know what you have accomplished. So make sure that you're checking off tasks on task lists. Don't leave things like open if they are complete. You want to really be able to see what you have already accomplished, right? You want to be able to reconcile what you've already done this year so you really are crystal clear on what you have left to do. So this should be, a pretty easy process to just look at your list and say, oh, did I do this? Yes or no, check it off. So you get a good sense of what tasks are left. So for me personally, I keep my tasks in my Charmed Life Planner, which is a digital printable planner. I keep my tasks on master monthly task lists and in project plans. So I will go through my project plans and make sure I check off what I have accomplished already and make sure that it's also checked off on the coordinating monthly master task list that it belongs to. And I think this is a really important process. Again, almost on like a psychological and motivational level, just like a brain dump is kind of something that you do just kind of to get you motivated and get your head in the right place. I think that when you reconcile your old tasks, it really shows you that you really have done more than you may think you have done. I think for a lot of us, we kind of get down on ourselves and think, oh, I haven't accomplished as much as I wanted to accomplish by this point in the year. But when we look back over our tasks and actually sort of review them and make sure we've got things checked off, I think it is really motivating to see, you know what, I did do a lot more than I thought I did. And I think that that state of mind can be so helpful and so motivating to push us into the second half of the year with enough like vigor and gusto to really go after our goals and our plans and check off more of those tasks and to-dos so that the end of the year is a really successful time for us. Now, the third step in this process is to review your goals and plans. Okay, so if you are someone who had set out goals at the beginning of the year or at some point during the year that you are using as a roadmap for you to, get things done for the year, you've outlined some projects, you know that there are certain things you want to have done. The next thing you want to do in this mid-year review process is to actually review those plans and goals. So if you listed out goals, if you listed out plans, you want to make sure that those goals and those plans still make sense. That is so important for you to do in the mid-year review. And I want to say that's really one of the biggest tasks you need to do during a mid-year review is to really ask yourself if the goals and plans that you've made for yourself, things that are still, pending, have not been completed yet, if it still makes sense for you in your life to be chasing those goals and those projects. Because like I said earlier, a lot of times, halfway through the year, our situations can change, our priorities can change. And if there has been a change, sometimes that means that some of our goals are not the goals that we want to actually finish for the year, right? Even if we've started them, we may get to a point where we say, you know what, I started this, but I don't want to finish it. It doesn't make sense for me to finish it. And that's part of being a productive person in general, I would say, is really having the ability to look at your plans and your goals and to acknowledge whether or not they're still a good use of your time. Just because you outlined them in the beginning of the year or before the year began, around New Year's or something like that, just because you outlined those goals and set those goals or resolutions for yourself, doesn't mean that you are fully obligated to complete them. Sometimes things change, and that's totally okay. So make sure you go through your goals and your project plans and your calendar for the rest of the year, anywhere where you made sort of long-term plans for the year, and make sure you review what you have laid out, because if anything doesn't make sense, now is the time to cross off those tasks or those goals or defer them for another year or something like that. Now, the fourth and final piece of this process is to redefine your targets. Okay, so the last step was to review your plans and make sure that the plans that you have for the rest of the year are really something that makes sense and worth the time and effort for you to put your energy into. But you also now need to make sure that those targets are what you need to be hitting, right? Because again, sometimes things change and you want to make sure that your goals still make sense, that you're not reaching for too high or too lofty of goals that may be really hard for you to accomplish because maybe you hit a roadblock earlier in the year. And then sometimes with our goals and our projects, we see that we actually made more progress already than we expected, and we can maybe push our targets a little bit more, right? We can really spend a little bit of time during this mid-year review process redefining our goals and what we want these outcomes to be for our year. So that is the fourth and final step in this process. Redefining, making sure that the targets that you're setting for yourself, the plans, are still in alignment, that you're still interested in accomplishing them, that they're still necessary, and that the ends that you are going after really are things that make sense, because now is the time to adjust them if they need any adjustment. Now, if you are someone who does have sort of big goals and projects for the year that you're really interested in making sure that you complete and make progress on so that you feel like you've had a successful year, like I said in the beginning of this video, I've got a new resource coming to the Charmed Shop. Really what this is not a completely new resource. It's actually an upgrade to an existing product, but it is going to be a great opportunity for any of you who really are set on making sure you achieve your goals and your tasks. I think that this is going to be a great resource to help you get motivated and jumpstart your project planning and your goal setting so that you can end the year strong. So if you are someone who really wants to see progress for the year, I am actually going to be hosting later this month a masterclass dedicated to goal planning centered around my You Got This workbook. So my You Got This workbook is a strategic goal planning guide that helps you to define and achieve your goals and organize your life. So this is essentially a workbook that's all about goal setting and setting your goals, aligning those targets, and getting your project plans into action so that you can have a successful year and achieve everything that you would like to achieve. Now, that workbook is a bestseller in my shop by far. And after talking to many of my customers about my teaching style and my products, I've decided that I think that now is a great time to actually turn the book into a masterclass as well, right? So that we can have an opportunity where we can sit down together via the internet, via a live streaming video, and we can walk through the principles that are taught in the workbook, and you guys can actually get a chance to talk to me directly and really understand how to break out your projects and your goals so that they are achievable to you. Because I realize that although this workbook is amazing and so many of you have had wonderful results from it, I think that the idea of having a class where we can actually like sit down together and talk about, what our goals are and how to break them down in ways that make sense, I think that that's going to be a more valuable opportunity for many of you. So this is something that I think is perfect for this mid-year review time. So if this is something that you are interested in, setting your goals, realigning your goals, redefining your targets so that you end the year strong, I want to invite you to this first live presentation of my You Got This masterclass. So if you're interested in joining me, here are some important details that you are going to want to keep in mind. First of all, the live masterclass is actually going to take place on Saturday, June 24th, 2017 at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You guys know that I am always trying to work around what the best day and time to do these masterclasses live, because I want to make sure that as many of you as possible are getting the opportunity to join. So this is the time that I think works best for a lot of people. And of course, it works really well for me as well, which is kind of important if I'm going to be hosting it. So it's going to be June 24th, That's a Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So you can use that and figure out what your exact time zone is going to be. If you're not someone who lives on the East Coast of the United States, if you live somewhere else, you can use that information to figure out when the live stream is for you. And this is going to be a ticketed event. So basically what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to leave these two links down below. If you're someone who does not own the You Got This workbook, I'm going to be leaving a link down in the description box where you can purchase the masterclass for a reduced sale price, which is going to include access to the live video stream. You're going to get a copy of the You Got This workbook because it is so important, I think, to the entire goal planning process that not only we have this class and this lecture discussion and Q&A about goal setting, but also for you to have the workbook with all the worksheets and all the information for you to come back and sort of work through your goals and plans and projects for the year. So you will get access to the book, the class, and of course, an unlimited replay of the event. Because once the event is over, I will go ahead and edit it and repackage it, and you will have unlimited access to that replay as long as the class and the course are available online, which hopefully will be a very, very long time. Now, if you're someone who already owns You Got This, I'm going to leave a second link in the description box, which is for the stream only, right? So it's going to be for you to access the video stream and of course the replay as well, but it's going to be a different price because you already own the book, right? So essentially what I'm doing is subtracting the price of the book from the full class price, and you're just gonna pay the difference, right? And I'm gonna do this on the honor system, right? I'm gonna trust that any of you who are signing up for the class just for the video itself, because you already own the book, I'm gonna assume you already own the book because you're not actually going to get the book. All you'll get is the live class. And like I said, the book is kind of an important part of the class. So you're gonna wanna have both of them so that you've got the book to use and work through as you are doing your goal setting process. But yeah, there's going to be two links down below. One is going to be for the book with the class, and one is going to be for the class alone if you already own the workbook. And like I said earlier, this is a special reduced price. I am going to raise the price on this entire course. And actually, I think from now on, the workbook is going to be sold with the class. So this is really going to be how You Got This is going to be packaged moving forward. It's going to be the video masterclass plus the workbook. So that is going to increase in price after the 24th, once the live stream has ended. And of course, when you purchase before, the 24th, you are going to get an email from me, a few emails with the links for accessing the live stream and the Q&A with me. And if you are someone who knows right now that you're not going to be able to make it to the event, no problem, you can still purchase the class and you'll get the replay, and you can of course submit questions to me ahead of time and I will do my best to answer those for you live on the call so that you are getting your questions answered even though you're not present. But of course, I would love to see many of you live in class because I think that these sorts of masterclasses, although the lecture is wonderful and I think is very helpful for you guys to learn through these video lectures that I do, I think that when you have the opportunity to talk to me one-on-one and give me your examples and tell me, what you're struggling with when it comes to project planning and goal setting, I really think that that's where a majority of the value for these classes and these live events come into play. So if you can make it live, that's wonderful. If not, feel free to secure the sale price before the price goes back up, and you will have access to the replay and everything that goes along with it. So that is my update for the You Got This masterclass and the workbook moving forward. If you are someone who's interested in getting a jump on your goal setting before the end of the year to make sure that you have a successful year working smarter, not harder. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below and let me know how you feel about this mid-year review process and if there are any specific steps that you take in your mid-year review that I did not mention. Let's make sure we fill those comment section with some more inspiration for others to really get the most use and the most value out of this content. Don't forget to check the description box for the links to other videos and resources mentioned in this video, and of course, to sign up for the You Got This Masterclass coming up later this month. And of course, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me, and until next time, bye-bye!